the environment is about giving people the ability to take risk. Do you remember I talked about that research that said people don't want to take risks? It's funny, I remember I worked at, when I first left university, I worked for British Railways, so the railroad company. And I was young, excited, wanted to go and do things. And everybody went, oh, don't do that, you'll get sacked. And I went, okay, but Pete over there makes mistakes all the time and he gets promoted. Yeah, I know. So I want to do that. Oh, no, don't take risks. So hang on, how do I reconcile those two things? You make mistakes and get promoted, but I don't want to take risks. And that was in an organization where it was very difficult to get fired. I'm now living in America. I know that's a very different world. But we still need to encourage people to take risks. So Netflix, I'm not sure if anybody ever read this book, Rules, No Rules. They've got a very interesting approach. Let me just read it. The first is build up a talent density. That's about hiring the very best people. Hiring the very best people. And they call it talent density. A great workplace is stunning colleagues. The second is increase candor. Say what you really think with positive intent. And the third point is, I think, the one that's relevant here. Start removing controls. Remove vacation policy. Remove travel and expense policies. Give people the space to innovate, rather than giving them constraints to say, you can't do this, you can't do that. That doesn't mean everybody takes constant vacation and everybody flies business class or books private jets, but people have got you've hired the people and you encourage them to do the right things because they're there to do the right things. And you take away some of those barriers. So this idea of actually giving people the opportunity or the environment, the culture to be able to do the right things. One of elements is core values is trust. And it's not just the trust of trusting your colleagues to do the right things, but trusting yourself to make mistakes and trusting the organization not to keep on reminding you about them. We would rather ask for forgiveness rather than permission. That's one of our statements. Ask for forgiveness, not permission. That enables people to do the right thing, try new stuff. If it doesn't work, learn from it and move on, rather than making a mistake and someone goes, yeah, do you remember you did that last time? And it comes back to haunt you. That kills innovation. It kills any ability for anybody to want to do anything different and new because they're always constantly worried about whether it will come back and hit them. That kills the pace of change. That kills the ability for people to actually enjoy being at work because they can do stuff. So if we can kill off that blame culture and again, if you have some of those cultures in place at the moment, you need to give some examples of someone made a mistake and they got celebrated for it because they learned from it and moved on. Okay? Really important. And I hadn't really appreciated it. This is the second company I've run where we've had this idea of ask for forgiveness, not permission. It makes so much difference in terms of the attitude of staff, the attitude, and also the way you're hiring people. But it does require that first point, which I said, which is talent density. You've got to hire people, not just in terms of who are bright and do the right job, but actually have the right intent. I mean, the idea of I've joined this job because I think I can steal quite a lot of stationery, take a lot of vacation time, is probably not the people you want to hire. You want people who are passionate about your product, your service, your customers, which means that when you give them the space to do the right thing, they genuinely are doing the right thing.